Good morning. This is William McKissick with Scully Mitchell, your expense reduction specialist. And the little caveat in this is, remember, this is not our day job. We are an expense reduction company. And what we're trying to do, and what I'm trying to do personally, is help promote other businesses in social media, splash some good out into the world, especially in this year where there's been a lot of bad stuff. So I'm trying to do some good and help other businesses. This morning, I have with me Dina Arvanitakis. Good morning, Dina. Lovely to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me, William. Good morning.
So let me tell you a little bit more about Dina and what she does, and then we'll get into some questions and she can explain a little bit more detail about where she's coming from. So Dina is actually an attorney. She's in real estate, probate, estate planning, and elder law, and she's been doing this for over 20 years. She's licensed in several states, which we'll talk about during the interview. And she's also a health and well-being consultant. So this morning we're going to talk about a legal practice, and we're going to talk a little bit also about her health and well-being practice. And then we'll talk about her details on the site, and you'll be seeing, I'll be explaining why there's two different websites there. So Dina, tell me a little bit more about yourself and what you're doing.
Okay, thank you, William. I've been an attorney for 21 years and counting. I practiced primarily in real estate law, a lot of foreclosure defense, a lot of elder law and estate planning and probate, and helping clearing title issues. Along those lines, in those 20 years, I got my license to practice law in the state of Illinois, Washington, D.C., and Florida. I've actually practiced in both Illinois and Florida. And I've recently started a second business. I have my own law firm. I'm a solo practitioner, but I've also started a second business centered around my passion, which is health and wellness.
So before we go into the health and wellness, tell me a little bit more about your legal practice, and then we'll kind of concentrate on the health and wellness part.
Okay, so in terms of my legal practice, when it comes to real estate, I've been involved in real estate litigation, partition actions, foreclosure, defense when it's a bank versus a homeowner. But if it's a HOA or a private investor, I actually do the foreclosing. So I've done both sides of foreclosure. I do contracts, leases, evictions, and title work in terms of drafting deeds and passing properties or doing contracts for deeds. I really like and enjoy drafting, which also led me into doing estate planning and really talking to the client to understand what their needs are, because it's not one size fits all.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of people think that they can draft a will by themselves. And that can become very tricky especially if you come from a blended family and you've had children from a prior marriage. You can accidentally disinherit your children. There's a lot of little thorny issues that it really takes a skilled attorney to put your estate plan together. I also do the advanced directives. So should anything bad happen to you in life, you've got that covered and you don't have your relatives scrambling, trying to decide what are we going to do with mom or dad, or if someone needs a special needs trust. All these things have to be put in place before there's a tragedy or there's a crisis. So I do help and counsel people in that regard. And I also do probate, which is also part of my real estate practice, because a lot of times people inherit properties, they've never done a probate, and title is not cleared. And the kid that gets mom and dad's house can't sell the house because they realize during the real estate transaction, title was never put in their name, so they had no authority to sign a contract to sell it to begin with. So that's where probate becomes essential. And it also helps the beneficiaries get what they need in a very orderly process.
Thank you. I want to talk a little bit more about your health and wellness. Anybody watching this, you can clearly understand that Dina is a fantastic lawyer. She really knows her stuff. So if you're looking for that kind of lawyer, please reach out to her. Her details are below on the screen. Dina, tell me a little bit about your health and wellness and what got you into that. Why are you starting a new business in this area?
Sure. Well, it turns out in the past 20 years, I've been fascinated with the biochemistry of food and how it impacts your health, your ability to heal. And I'm very much interested in Eastern medicine, going back to the basics, because I don't believe that health starts from the neck down. It really starts, it's a whole holistic approach. And when you study the ancients, like Hippocrates 2,500 years ago, he did say that let food be thy medicine and thy medicine be thy food. And there's tremendous wisdom to that. And I'm, growing up as a kid, I've noticed in the 80s and in the 90s, we were fed a lot of misinformation. Like, for example, we're told fat is bad for you, carbs are good for you, milk is good for you. I mean, nothing could be further from the truth. And when you look at the time frame from when that FDA food pyramid came out, telling everyone you should eat a whole ton of carbs, you'll notice a direct correlation to a spike in obesity levels. And I look around me and I see a lot of suffering. A lot of people are obese. They're confused. They're overwhelmed. They don't know how to lose weight. And science has really turned around some of these facts. And I'm studying and learning from doctors that have had a huge influence and impact in my life personally in terms of weight loss and being healthy and having energy and clarity of mind. And I believe that people should know this information. You can help someone with one conversation at a time and bring them to light that we have a flawed system. I don't believe Western medicine has it right. I mean, there's a time and place for drugs and for emergency care. We're number one. But to have someone that's sick and being put on one pill after another, that's just managing a sick person versus actually healing a sick person. And once people start to understand that what you eat has a direct correlation to having the power to either heal you or kill you, and you empower that person to make better choices, you're doing that person tremendous good. But when you think of the overall big picture, if everyone took a little bit of time to be accountable and responsible for their choices, I don't believe we would have this medical crisis. I don't think we'd care about drug prices, because if people can learn to wean themselves off, or better yet, prevent themselves from even having to take these medicines, how much better off would we be today?
Yeah.
So yes, I don't subscribe to this theory that there should be a pill for every ill. And I think some doctors should, rather than have a knee-jerk reaction and fill out a prescription, they should take the time and ask their patients, what are you eating? What are your stress levels? How do you handle stress? What's your lifestyle like? Because ultimately, doctors took an oath to heal and to help their patients, not to manage them. So I'm trying to bring some good information, good awareness to empower people to help them be healthy and have more control over their health.
Yeah, I mean, the question there was, why did you get into health and well-being as a business? And I could see immediately you sat forward, you're clearly passionate about it. So anybody watching this, you can see Dina is clearly passionate. She's a highly trained lawyer, but she's very passionate about health and wellness. That was a fantastic answer because, as I say, passion comes through. So how do you actually help people? What do you do in your daily business with your new business to actually help people?
Okay, well, it all started off with blogging. Interestingly enough, I was tapped into being in the Health and Wellness Committee of my local chapter bar. The American Bar Association has issued a mandate that all the state bars have to address health and wellness. because the attorneys are number 4 in terms of suicide rates. And it's no secret that attorneys are heavy drug and alcohol users. So the American Bar Association is understandably concerned about that trend. So they want to address it on a state level, this health and wellness. So someone that knows me very well and my passion tapped me to be on the Health and Wellness Committee. So it all started with writing one article that for their publication. And I had an attorney look me up and thank me. She left me a voicemail that by the time I was done listening to that voicemail, I actually teared up because she said I made a difference in her life with that article. I wrote about MSGs and how they're morphed into 30 different names and how it can be debilitating to people. And she said to me, "Thank you for writing that article. No one believed me. I'm going to print it out and show it to my friends." And I thought to myself, wow, I helped someone just by writing. So and I love to write. So I started blogging. I opened up a website just for the sole purpose of blogging. And then I started writing a book. I am putting all the little habits. I like to simplify things. I think the simpler a process, the more sustainable and the more practical it is. So I'm writing a book about what has worked tremendously well for me for aging. I'm almost 50 and I've aged out very well and I'm doing well with my health. And I'm putting all those little habits that even when you combine them together, it could equal tremendous success. And they're simple habits for busy professionals. We're all busy. I get it, but I don't think you're too busy to protect your health. So I started writing a book. So that's going to be information for people that I'm putting out there. I educate, I consult with clients one-to-one. I teach them about what foods are inflammatory and cause disease, what foods actually help your body speed up the healing process. I counsel them on how to leverage intermittent fasting for easy and fast weight loss and for healing and bringing clarity of mind. So it's a combination of putting information out there on the internet, writing a book, counseling and conversing with people one-to-one, which, by the way, I don't charge to talk to someone for my time which is kind of funny for an attorney not to bill their time.
Yes.
But it makes me happy to talk to them about this and see the light bulb go off in their face like, wow, I never thought about that. Or you see a sliver of hope that, wow, maybe I do have more control over my health. And then the other way I help people is I also represent 3 companies that have tremendous supplements. One line with the isotonics are actually pharmaceutical grade supplements that doctors can even private label and sell them directly to their patients. I take these supplements because they have an excellent delivery system where you take the supplements, they're in your bloodstream in 10 minutes or less. They're liquid form, they're highly bioavailable, there's no fillers or any bad junk ingredients, because some of the cheap stuff over the counter, I've seen actual x-ray pictures where they come out the same way they come in. So at that point, you're just throwing money, wasting your money. Other supplements that I bring awareness to is the importance of collagen. And people don't know that after the age of 30, you lose 1% of collagen per year. And collagen is essential for it connects us. It's in our eyes, it's in our organs, it's in our joints. So collagen is also very huge in slowing down the aging process. And I also coach people on cycling in and out of ketosis. And I also represent a company that sells therapeutic ketone molecules. So it's kind of like cheating your way through ketosis instead of doing it the old-fashioned hard way of doing it. You can drink ketones and get the same effect. And also, one of the companies that's associated with the collagen also has clean products for your household. So when you clean your house, you don't have toxic chemicals. They're very environmentally friendly and clean, and they are actually non-toxic. They are certified as non-toxic. So it all goes into that sphere of, first you need to educate, you need to learn behavioral changes, and then you can introduce supplements. I never want anyone to get the idea that supplements is the end all and be all. It's not that easy button. It's supplement is what the word connotes, which is something in addition to. So you learn best practices and behaviors, and then you use supplements as a tool, as an aid, but never as the entire replacement. You can't eat crap all day and think the supplement's going to save you. And you can't eat really well and think you don't need supplements, because of the way we're having modern agricultural practices. Our soils really have been depleted, and food today is not nearly as nutrient dense as it was even 50 years ago.
Fantastic. So tell me, as a closing question, Dina, tell me where you see yourself in 5 years. I think maybe health and wellness is where you're going to head. So tell anybody watching this where you're heading in 5 years.
Yes, God willing, I want to help as many people as I possibly can. I want to, I'm hoping in 5 years, I will have a pretty big following in Instagram, on my Facebook page. My goal is to bring health and happiness to people and get them out of that misery. So hopefully I can, in 5 years, have actually a program that people can purchase from me, a webinar, how to put these practices in place, and really giving people ultimate control. And hopefully 5 years from now, we will have some lower obesity rates and less medicines. Just learn to rely on food and nutrition and herbs and spices, and just getting back to basics, really, just getting back to basics in a very simple, effective, and practical way.
Thank you. Anybody watching this show, you'll see Dina's details are underneath me. The contact details of email and phone number, you can reach her for any of the two businesses, but there's two different websites there, so that allows you to contact or have a check out Dina's information from a lawyer perspective, and also from her passion, as you can see, her health and wellness. So Dina, thank you very much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. It's my pleasure to be able to help businesses get some promotion on social media. So thank you very much.
And thank you as well for your time, William.
You're welcome. And now I'll hand it over to Dave for the weather.